Spartan parents and family members, welcome to SOAR 2021. I am Dr. Coretta Walker, Director of Strategic Initiatives and Parent Programs here at UNCG. Today's session is all about you and the best way family members can best support your student during their time here at the G. To kick us off, I'd like to welcome my fellow panelists to introduce themselves. Dr. Akins.
Hi there. Greetings to our Spartan parents and family members. We're glad to have you joining us. My name is Kathy Akins. I serve as the Vice Chancellor for Student Affairs here at UNC Greensboro.
And I'm Dr. Carter, the Associate Vice Chancellor and Dean of Students overseeing the Student Health and Wellbeing area.
Thank you, Dr. Carter. So we know that college can be a time of growth and discovery for many incoming students. There are a ton of new opportunities as they learn about our campus and themselves. New connections with other students, new growth and self-discovery, and new exploration into their academic interests. And while new beginnings are a great thing, we also know that transitioning to college can be challenging. During our time together today, we will talk about transitions your students may face and provide campus resources designed to create a culture of care. So Dr. Carter, let's start there. What exactly is UNCG's culture of care?
So UNCG's culture of care is really about the student. It's about focusing our attention on the students. And you bring up a very good point. You know, transitioning to college can be a challenge. And so we are here to support our students. And the way we do that is through our many services and resources that we provide. So for example, the Dean of Students Office, which is an area that I oversee, is a great hub where students who are experiencing some challenges, or parents, if you have concerns about your students, you can have them contact the Dean of Students Office, who can provide those support resources or help you navigate and help your student connect to those resources. Some other examples might show up as we have a Spartan Open Pantry for our students who may be experiencing food insecurities, as well as our Safe Fund, which provides some emergency support resources to students who may be having difficulties purchasing books, paying rent, or paying bills. So those are just a few examples of kind of sort of how we demonstrate our culture of care here at UNC Greensboro.
Dr. Carter, you're right. The culture of care is critical for our student success. The Dean of Students is a great one-stop shop for our parents, families, and students as they look to find a place to get support. So Dr. Akins, we also see that some students may experience difficulty transitioning to the academic rigor of college life. How can parents and families support their students, especially as some may be transitioning to in-person classes for the first time in over a year?
That's an excellent question. And, you know, one that I think is really important to us. One of the things I want to emphasize first that we often talk to students about is our students who have been admitted to UNC Greensboro absolutely have the potential to be successful. They deserve to be here, and we're going to do everything we can to support their academic success. But there is a transition often associated with entering into a university environment. Students may quickly learn that the learning perhaps is a little bit more independent. There's a great deal of responsibility that's placed on students, and they really need to be disciplined in the way that they approach their studies. What I would say, though, is that we have tremendous resources here at the institution that can help support our students academically. We have a student success center, which is filled with tutoring and student success workshops and many sorts of opportunities for students to gain supplemental assistance for their courses. Of course, the library is rich with resources and help and support for our students. We have an excellent speaking and writing center, and I could go on with all of the resources. But I think the key point is that students need to identify early when they need help. And help isn't always about failing this class. Help may be if I consistently use some valuable support resources along the way. As a student, I'm going to have more shot at success. You know, sometimes what we see is that students just wait too long until they're in too deep, and may at that point express to their advisor or to the parents, you know, I don't know if I can do this. I don't know if I'm going to be successful this semester. And what we want to do is encourage students to have those conversations early, engage with their faculty. Faculty here are very driven by supporting students and helping them to be successful. And so I would say encourage your student to get to know who their faculty are early on, make sure that the faculty member knows who they are and that they're committed to doing well here.
You're right. You're spot on about our caring faculty and the importance of that transition. So when thinking about our supporting our students and adjusting to campus life, safety also comes to mind for some parents and some family members. Dr. Carter, what are some ways that UNCG works to maintain a safe campus community?
You can cut and paste this part, right? So let's start over, cut and paste, start over.
So when thinking about supporting our students' needs and adjusting to campus life, safety comes to mind for some of our parents and family members. Dr. Carter, what are some of the ways that UNCG works to maintain a safe campus community?
So first, I'd like to start out by just stressing how important safety is to us, and we take that very seriously. And what that looks like is that we here on our campus have a full commission UNCG Police Department who provides 24/7 safety throughout the campus. Some other ways in which we promote campus safety, because I'm a firm believer that as well as it's our responsibilities as administrators and staff to provide that safety, we also look to our students to help provide that safety as well. And the way we encourage them to help support us with that is with our Live Safe app. It's an application app that students are allowed to download, and it gives them an opportunity to have direct communications to our police department and report incidents that they may see on campus. Also, we periodically have send out Spartan alerts, and that is a way to inform our campus of any active situation that's going on our campus that may impact them. So again, this is a couple of examples of the way we provide that campus safety for our students. We also have some unique program initiatives that we have implemented for quite some time now. So for example, we have the Adopt a Cop program, where students have within the residence halls, they are connected with our police department. They come in and do programs for our students, gives the students an opportunity to develop that relationship with our police department, because we also believe in this notion of community policing and how do we engage one another and support one another and able to, again, be there to provide that ongoing level of support collectively as a campus. And then finally, one of the things that we try to do on a regular basis is we do safety walks across our campus, and we bring students from various organizations and groups, as well as staff and faculty in some cases, and we walk throughout the campus to identify areas that we feel might potentially pose a safety risk to our area. So for example, if a light is out, we will make sure we have that light replaced. So again, campus safety is very important to us. We take it very seriously. And we're here to protect you, your students, and keep it moving.
Dr. Carter, could you also talk a little bit about what we've done to also keep our campus safe around COVID and how we've taken that concern very seriously and the proactive measures we've taken to make sure that our campus community also remains safe?
Absolutely. And again, here's another area that we take very seriously. And from day one, when we even entered into this COVID challenge pandemic, one of the things we initiated is a communication plan. And what that looked like is we wanted to make sure we kept our campus informed of the various policies, the changes, or things that we can do to help support each other and keeping our campus safe. The other area too is doing COVID safety walks. One of the things the Division of Student Affairs we take pride in is we call these our culture of care safety walks, where we walk throughout the campus and not only did it give us an opportunity to connect with our students, but it also kind of gave us an opportunity to stress to them the importance of wearing their mask and also seeing if they have any kind of sort of concerns related to COVID. So we were, very instrumental in really trying to make sure that we kept our students informed and did various walks throughout the campus to, remind our students the importance of keeping themselves and our campus safe.
Absolutely. Go ahead, Dr. Aiken.
If I may add, I would also add that, I think we're very proud of the way that our students here at UNC Greensboro and the entire campus community responded to the health and safety guidelines that were set for the campus. And it is, what allowed us to continue to remain in session, to have students on the campus and to complete the semester and then the academic year successfully. We also had a very robust testing and surveillance testing and vaccination process on the campus. And so we're pleased that our students have been so responsive and expect to implement many of these measures in the fall as needed or as required by the current guidance at the time.
Absolutely. And I can truly say that UNCG is a place where we care about our students and want to make sure that our parents and family members have the information. So we are here to be transparent and here to support all parts of our students' development. So talking about development and getting connected and all those things, we know that classes are one way for students to learn about college, connect with classmates and faculty members. But we also know in student affairs that students' sense of connection and belonging happens outside of the classroom. Dr. Aikens, why is it important for students to establish a sense of belonging in the first few weeks of the semester? And how can students find their community at the G?
That's an excellent question. You know, we're extremely focused on helping our incoming students feel like they're a Spartan, like they are part of the UNC Greensboro community. I often hear students say, when I came to visit or when I started my first week, I knew this was home for me. This was the place I was meant to be. And that's the kind of feeling we want all of our students to experience, because what that means is they're more committed to being part of the institution, to fully engaging in their academic experience here. And it also means that when students do hit a bump in the road or have some sort of obstacle or difficult time, they're more likely to move past those and persist because they want to be here. They feel connected, they've established a network. And so our focus with incoming students is really all about developing that sense of belonging. And that comes from helping them to identify opportunities where they can connect with other students, where they can join clubs and organizations or do service or participate in leadership activities. There's something here for every student. And so our goal is to help them to figure out what they want to be involved with to get them connected and help them build relationships. We have a virtual platform called Spartan Connect that students will hear a lot about during SOAR and once they're on campus. And it is the mechanism for them to join clubs and organizations, to hear about activities on the campus, to build their co-curricular transcript, a sort of record of their involvement at the university. One of the things that we know that sometimes happens, though, is parents or family members may hear from their student several weeks into the semester, and parents have sometimes described those conversations as the student saying, there's just nothing to do here, or I'm spending a lot of time by myself outside of classes. And that can be really certainly discouraging for a parent to hear that. And one of the things that we encourage from parents and family members is just that to give that nudge, to suggest to students, there's lots of places to go to identify ways for involvement. But for some students, it's taking a little bit of a risk and showing up for that event or that organization's meeting. And usually students find once they take that first step, they find ways to get connected, and they often find other students who welcome them into, a new sense of community. So certainly that sense of belonging is important. It's important that students feel like this is the place where they feel supported and included.
Absolutely. So during this transition, right, they're connecting to faculty, they're connecting to us as staff, administrators, they're connecting to other students. They're also adjusting to what it means to be healthy. So working out, eating healthy, or taking care of our mental health. UNCG has a comprehensive offering of well-being resources. So Dr. Carter, how do our well-being offerings extend the culture of care you talked about earlier?
Yeah, when you talk about comprehensive, I like to refer to it also as a campus that is rich in resources, support resources on this campus. And so what that might look like is we approach everything from a holistic perspective. How can, we know that there may be challenges in certain aspects of a student's time here at UNCG. And so knowing that, we are very proactive in making sure we engage our students in the various campus support resources that are available. So for example, the Campus Center for Wellness. We have the Center for Student Wellbeing, who that office provides resources and opportunities for students to engage in areas that can kind of sort of help them with their overall well-being. We have a wonderful staffed counseling center where we provide that mental health support. And even in the counseling center, students may feel like, you know, I'm not really comfortable with that one-on-one counseling. And so we also offer an alternative, and that might show up as group sessions, group workshops, various outreach initiatives where we engage our residence hall staff with our counseling center in terms of a partnership to kind of sort of come in and do some outreach programming for those students. We also work with our dining services area to provide healthy eating resources, or students can even make suggestions about healthy meals that they would like to request. But also too, in terms of working with our homeless students or students who are just overall like experiencing some challenges. As I mentioned earlier, we have through the Dean of Students Office, we have a lot of resources, again, with the SAFE Fund to provide that additional support. So the key here I want to stress to our parents is, you know, as a resource-rich campus, I'm pretty sure anything that a student's experiencing, we have the means and the ability through our staff to connect those students through those support resources.
That is really reassuring. Again, a great reason that as parents and family members, you've chosen to have your student attend UNCG. So we've heard that UNC Greensboro is the most diverse institution in the UNC system, right? As it relates to racial and ethnic backgrounds. Dr. Aikens, what does this actually mean? And how can students make the most of the diversity on our campus?
Well, we often talk about the diversity of our community as being one of our greatest strengths as an institution. And for students who are at UNCG, they have, I think, the added value, added benefit to their educational experience of being able to study with, live with, learn from faculty, staff, and students who have many different perspectives, different life experiences, different backgrounds. And this really, I think, enriches the students' experience. We also know that it is important, though, within this diversity, that students feel like they belong here. We talked about that earlier. They need to feel like they can be successful here, like they're included here. And so we really make sure that the things that we provide through our clubs and organizations, our services and programs, helps to ensure that all students can find their place, that they can find opportunities to really learn from the diversity that's present in the environment, and that they feel that there's a responsiveness to their needs here as a student. One of the things that I would say is that I often tell students is, rather than just existing in this diverse environment, how can they really learn from the opportunities that they have here and learn from one another as peers? And so students will do a lot through their clubs and organizations to share more about their backgrounds, to celebrate their cultures, and to, in the process, invite other students into learning more about who they are. We also have a number of resources available to our students, our faculty and staff, to help them to understand how to be successful in this environment, how to create a greater sense of inclusion for all students. And then we also want to make sure that if students do experience a negative incident on the campus, that there is a support system for them as well. So we are launching a bias support team in the fall. And this is basically an opportunity that if students feel that they've experienced a negative incident on the campus, they have a way to make the university aware of it and to seek support for themselves and to ensure that the university is responsive to the concern that they experience. So again, I think that diversity is one of our greatest strengths and something that will really add to the richness of our students' experience here.
Agreed. I think it is one of the places that also prepares our students to be a global citizen and engage in their career and their life beyond our campus. So that is the expertise that we have from Dr. Akins and Dr. Carter. Would you like to add anything, any other advice for parents before we end our conversation?
I just always like to share with parents and family members that we really see ourselves as being in partnership with you. We have the shared goal of helping to ensure that all students are successful here, that they're happy, that they're thriving. And so certainly anything that the student affairs team can do to work in collaboration with students and parents to provide consultation, to provide advice, moving forward, we're certainly available for that.
Well said, Dr. Aiken, well said.
So thank you so much. We're now going to welcome Cynthia Riviere Kelly, the chair of our Parent Family Advisory Council. So we would love to hear from someone who's been in your shoes, transitioning a student to UNCG. We have the illustrious Cynthia Riviere Kelly, who again is our chair of PFAC, our Parent Family Advisory Council, which is a group of dedicated volunteers, fellow parent and family members. Welcome, Cynthia. So can you tell us a little bit about yourself and what advice do you have for incoming parent and family members?
So thank you for having me. My name is Cynthia Riviere Kelly. I am so glad to be a part of this program, so thank you. What I would love to say about myself is I am happy to be here and happy to be a part of the Spartan family. My advice to incoming families is, one, breathe. You have done a wonderful job and have gotten them to this point. Just breathe, relax, and know that you have done this. Two, know that they are now adults and we have to take a step back. In my dealings with UNCG, at first I was like, the only time I hear from them is when they want some money. Okay, which is fact, but working with PFAC, I have segued into becoming a part of the UNCG system. And they love to hear our input and our questions. Always check the resource pages that are on the website. I think that's it. Just, yeah, my number one is just breathe and know that UNCG is going to take care of every aspect of your student.
And Cynthia, you're spot on. And I think, Dr. Carter and Dr. Akins mentioned that culture of care. They mentioned the intentional resources. And I think you now know, Dr. Akins, Dr. Carter, you've met me. You've also now met Cynthia. We are here for you. And if we are not the resource, we can get you to the resource to make sure you have the information that you need. So Cynthia, PFAC, so they've heard about us in different capacities. How can they stay connected to us? And how might they even see us in person?
Well, I know that we have Spartan Family Weekend, October the 1st through the 3rd. Be there or be square. Yes, I said that. I'm dating myself. Be there or be square, because it's such a good weekend, informative, fun, all the things. And also we have a Facebook and we have an Instagram. So please look into that. And I'm sure that you can access that through the website.
Absolutely. And then we're also going to we have 2 live sessions in June during SOAR, where you can also see our faces again and ask us questions in a live capacity. So again, we are here for you. We're here to support your student as well. Cynthia, thank you for joining us. Again, I look forward to seeing so many of you during Spartan Family Weekend. Thank you to Dr. Akins and Dr. Carter for sharing their expertise today and reminding us how important it is to support our students at every transition of their time at UNCG. Take care and go Spartans.